Assalamu alaikum students. This is lecture number 7 of group theory. Today we will study about the cyclic groups. So first of all, let's see the definition of cyclic groups. A group G is said to be cyclic if every element of G is a power of 1 and the same element A of G. So G, a group, will be a cyclic group if A if for some element A, every element of G is a power of A and A is the generator of group G. Such an element A of G is called a generator of G. If the order of A is finite, that is, if there is least positive integer n such that A raised to the power n is equal to E, then G is said to be finite cyclic group of order n and is written as G is equal to, this is the notation for cyclic groups. A is a generator of group G and A raised to the power n is equal to E. So this is the finite cyclic group generated by A and the order n. This is a finite cyclic group of order n generated by A. If the order of A is infinite, then for no positive integer n, A raised to the power n is equal to E. If the order of A is infinite, then the above result doesn't satisfy. That A raised to the power n is equal to E doesn't satisfy if A is infinite. And if A is finite, then we have this result. A raised to the power n is equal to E for cyclic group G. Now let's see another important result. If we have A raised to the power minus 1 whole power k is equal to E, then A raised to the power k is equal to A raised to the power k multiplied by identity. And instead of identity, we can write A raised to the power minus k because we are taking this equal to identity. So A raised to the power minus k multiplied by A raised to the power k. What we will have? Identity. A raised to the power k is equal to identity. It means k is another order for A, for the element A, so that A has finite order, and this is a contradiction because A has infinite order. Thus A inverse also has infinite order. So if A has infinite order, then A inverse also has infinite order. This is an important result we can see from here. From the contradiction, we can prove this. If A has infinite order, then A inverse also has infinite order. It cannot be so that A has infinite order and A inverse has finite order. It cannot be so. A inverse raised to the power k is equal to E means that k is the order of A inverse, and this is a contradiction from this result. If G is a finite cyclic group of order n with generator A, then n is the least positive integer such that A raised to the power n is equal to E. So for no positive integer r that lies between 0 and n, A raised to the power r is equal to E. A raised to the power r cannot be equal to E if r lies between 0 and n, because n is the least positive integer for which A raised to the power n is equal to E in case of G is a finite cyclic group of order n. If G is a finite cyclic group of order n, then these are the distinct elements of that group G, because we have studied that if G is a cyclic group, then all the elements of G will be some power of an element A. So these are the distinct elements for group G: A raised to the power 1, A raised to the power 2, and so on to A raised to the power n minus 1. And what is A raised to the power n? That is equal to E. Are all the distinct elements of G. Now let's see a theorem Let G be a cyclic group of order n generated by A. Then for each positive divisor of D of n, there is a unique subgroup of G of order D. So let's prove this theorem. The proof of this theorem is, let G is a cyclic group generated by A and A raised to the power n is equal to E. This is a cyclic group. We have to prove for each positive divisor D of n, there is a unique subgroup of order D. Now, let D be a positive divisor of n. Then there is an integer q such that D is a positive divisor of n. So n divided by D, let us suppose n divided by D is equal to q. So it can be written as n is equal to qd. D is a positive divisor of n. N is equal to qd. Now let's take power d on the both sides of equal sign. Now take b is equal to a raised to the power q. Take some b that is equal to a raised to the power q. And now take d as a power on both sides. B raised to the power d is equal to a raised to the power qd. That is equal to, what is qd is equal to n. So instead of qd we can write as n. B raised to the power d is equal to a raised to the power qd is equal to a raised to the power n, that is equal to identity. So b raised to the power d is equal to e. So h is equal to, b is the element of h, and h is we are checking that h is a subgroup of G for which this result should hold. If G be a cyclic group of order n generated by A, then for each positive divisor D of n, there is a unique subgroup of G. So H should be a unique subgroup of order D. Subgroup of G having order D. So H is a cyclic group generated by B and it has order D, and D is a positive divisor of n. So H is a required subgroup. Now we have to see that if the result hold, that for each positive divisor D of n, there is a unique subgroup of G of order D. If this result hold, then now we will check that that subgroup should be unique. To see that H is unique, suppose that K is another subgroup of G of order D. Now we are supposing that K is another subgroup of G of order D, and H is also a subgroup of G of order D. Then K is generated by an element. Now we are supposing this K is generated by an element C, that C is equal to a raised to the power K, where K is the least such positive integer. As K has order D, now as we are supposing that K has order D, then we can write a raised to the power K D is equal to C raised to the power D, because C is the element of K and K has order and order D. So we can write at C raised to the power D is equal to identity, where KD is equal to N. If KD is equal to N, then K is equal to N divided by D, and N divided by D also equal to Q. N divided by D is equal to Q. If we divide D on the both sides of this equation, we will have N divided by D is equal to Q. K is equal to Q. Thus, B is equal to A raised to the power Q is equal to A raised to the power K is equal to C, so that K is equal to H, and hence H is unique. there does not exist any separate k subgroup of G of order D. There is only one subgroup of G of order D, and D is the positive divisor of N. I hope you have understood the result, this important result. Now let's see an example. If G is a cyclic group of even order, then prove that there is only one subgroup of order 2 in G. Let G is equal to this is a cyclic group of order 2n. 2n means this is the cyclic group of even order, and its generator is A. Be a cyclic group of order 2n where n is a positive integer. Now by the previous theorem, if a positive integer D divides the order of G, then G has exactly one subgroup of order D. Now order of G is 2n, and 2 divides 2n. 2n is an even number, and obviously 2 will be the positive divisor of 2n. So G has only one subgroup of order 2. This is a very simple example, and the required result is proved here. If you feel some confusion in it, you can ask in the comment section. Another example here, find all the subgroups of a cyclic group of order 12. Let G be a cyclic group of order 12 and A be its generator. Then the elements of G are A raised to the power 1, A raised to the power 2, and so on to A raised to the power 11 up to A raised to the power 12. That is equal to E, because order of G is 12 and generator of G is A. Now by the same theorem we have studied, for each divisor D of 12, G has a subgroup of order D. Now the divisors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. Then if the divisors of 12 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12, then we must have the subgroups of all these orders. We must have subgroups of all these orders 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 and 12. The subgroup of order 1, which is in the set notation, this is written here, identity element. The subgroup of order 1 is this. The subgroup of order 2 is A raised to the power 6 and then identity, that is A raised to the power 12. The subgroup of order 3 is A raised to the power 4, A raised to the power 8 and then A raised to the power 12. That is equal to E. The subgroup of order 4, which is A raised to the power 3, A raised to the power 6, A raised to the power 9 and A raised to the power 12. That is identity. The subgroup of order 6, A raised to the power 2, A raised to the power 4, A raised to the power 6, A raised to the power 8, A raised to the power 10 and A raised to the power 12. That is equal to E. The subgroup of order 12, which is G itself. So for each divisor D of 12, G has a subgroup of order D. For divisor 1 of 12, we have subgroup of order 1. For divisor 2 of 12, we have subgroup of order 2. For divisor 3 of 12, we have subgroup of order 3. For divisor 4 of 12, we have subgroup of order 4. For divisor 6 of 12, we have subgroup of order 6. These are the subgroups of group G, and G is itself is included here. 12 is also the divisor of 12, positive divisor of 12, and we have the subgroup of order 12 as well. So the previous theorem, the first theorem we have studied, is explained here by the examples. Any confusion you can ask in the comment section. Take care of yourselves. Keep studying, keep learning, and Allah Hafiz.